Hello there. Hi, everyone, and welcome to my live at lunch. And today, what I'd really like to explore with you is how we can feel more like we've got this rather than we haven't got this. And what I mean by that is so often, when especially in these circumstances where everything's so uncertain and we don't know what the future holds, we don't feel like we've got it at all. And And so I'd like to explore how we can feel more like, yeah, we've got this. We're okay. We've got it. Okay. And it may be that you're feeling like, your mind is spinning into, yeah, but what about this? Or what if that happens? Or what if something else happens? And your mind might be going in that kind of direction. And so I'd like to explore that with you too. So if you don't know me and this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, I'm Andrea Morrison and I'm a transformative coach. And I work mainly with business owners and professionals, sharing a simple understanding of how we work as human beings to enable them to be more successful for whatever that means for them, and also just to enjoy life a little bit more. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you would share it, like it, and comment. That would be great. And also, feel free to comment as we're going through or interact in any way. So as I said, today I'm exploring how can we feel more like we've got this and less like we're really out of control. So, at the moment, life is really uncertain. I as you know, I run my own business. I have 3 kids, some of whom are due to take exams. They don't know when they're going to go back to school. They don't know if they're going to go back to school or whether it's going to be next year or what that's going to look like. Life feels really uncertain at the moment. Like there is no plan at all. And of course, we're not used to living like this. We're used to having being able to plan. We might plan, from my kids' point of view, I'm going to do A levels next year. I'm going to do a degree. I'm going to do this. We're going to go traveling. We're all of that kind of stuff. And sorry, that's my dog in the background because he wanted to come in and he could make his mind up and now he's out. So we're used to that, aren't we? We're used to being able to have some kind of plan. And really hoping that I think we think thank you. We think in some respects, there's a very slight possibility it might not happen, but on the whole, we think our plans are going to happen. And so we project our kind of selves forward, if you like, even for short-term things. We make a plan so that we know we're going to be okay. We know that what's going to happen. We can feel certain. Even like when in our work situation, we might, plan a journey or plan a meeting or, plan an agenda, have goals. So we kind of know what's going on. And to me, when I've done that in the past, I did that because I needed to know what was going to happen. I needed to know that I was going to be okay. Fundamentally, that was what it was all about, was that I needed to know that I was going to be okay, and of course that can't happen now, can it? Or we don't feel that we can do that. All of that stuff just seems to have completely gone out of the window. And instead, kind of what has seemed to have replaced it is this question of, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that doesn't happen? It's said with my kids, well, what if I can't go to college? What if I can't go to university? What if I can't get a job? What if I don't have any qualifications? What if, and instead of feeling like we have some kind of control, we feel completely out of control because our minds are using the experience of having those plans and being okay, and they're projecting it in the future and saying, yeah, but what if this doesn't happen? How do we know we're going to be okay? Yeah, how do my kids know they're going to be okay, even if they don't have the qualifications or the education that they thought they were going to have? Because of course that's what society has told them that they need to have to be okay. Well, how then are they going to know that they're okay? And when I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, well, how do we know? What came to mind was a question that I was asked by a coach a number of years ago that made no sense to me at all. In fact, it frustrated the hell out of me. And he literally just said, when are you? When are you? Not where are you? When are you? So immediately that got my back up because, I'm a bit of a grammar freak. So I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And at the time, I felt that my life was very uncertain. I felt that I had no or very little direction. I didn't know if I had any purpose. I'd come out of a very structured career. I was a lawyer, which had purpose, had a career path, had everything. And because of me burning myself out, I could no longer do that job anymore. So everything, to me, I had that was me, that defined me. It was who I was. So nothing was certain in my mind at that time. And to be asked a question like that, just maybe it was intended to make me think a little. I don't know, but maybe we could start by exploring that right now, because what I see now is when we look at when are we are being. And being means existing, if you look it up in a dictionary, being, the definition of being is existing. It's like, when are we existing right now? And so often we're not existing in the now, are we? We're existing at some point in the future. And that happens like all the time. Like even this morning, I got up early to write my column, which I do every week. I write for the Yorkshire Post, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I got up early and I expected the house to be quiet and silent. I have to say, yeah. And my daughter was downstairs in the kitchen making her breakfast. So I was really surprised. And as I was having breakfast with her, and she was chatting to me and talking about some history that she discovered, and it was all very interesting and everything. And my mind started to wander, right? I started to think about the column that I had to write and the client that I had later on, a short time later on. And I had this short window to write my column, which was plenty of time if I wasn't going to be held up, but well, what if I didn't get my column written? What if I ran out of time? Time was getting on. And, and before I knew it, I wasn't with my daughter. I was existing like an hour and a half later at a time when I hadn't written my column. It hadn't got done. I hadn't got dressed because I should have said I was in my PJ. And I was due to see my client, and I'd be going on the call with my hair all over the place, a little bit better than what it is now, and I would be in my pajamas, and of course that made me a little bit, I got all the feelings of feeling a bit G'd up with that, because imagine for a minute if you're sat just about to go on a call and you're still in your pajamas and you haven't done work that you should have done beforehand, and now it was too late. That felt real to me. In that moment, that felt really real. And I experienced that situation, right, as though it was happening right in that moment. because that's what our minds do, right? Our minds don't realize that we're just kind of imagining something, right? Everything's real. So it fires off all the feelings and experiences that we need to create that. So I recognize this. I noticed this because I was feeling a bit. I was feeling a little bit kind of off with my daughter, like it was irritating me that she was talking, and that kind of triggered something else in me, and I noticed. I kind of brought myself out of a future time, if you like, and I thought, isn't that great too? You know, isn't that really lovely that we can notice that? You know, that we have the ability to notice that. And just by noticing it, I kind of found it a bit funny that that's what I'd done, you know, and that I'd had this image in my mind of me in my pajamas talking to my client. He probably would have found it quite funny, to be fair, but look, that had frightened me or caused me some upset or disturbance. And I just kind of brought myself back into that moment just by noticing that. And I knew as soon as I was in that moment, I knew it was going to be okay. I knew I'd get it done. I knew I'd get dressed. I knew the column would be written. I knew, and actually I changed it and added a little bit extra just of that experience because I thought, you know, how lovely it had been. And then I was really grateful because that I had that experience because I would then be able to share it. And wasn't that lovely? Wasn't that beautiful that I'd noticed that too? And when I sat and I reflected on this as I was writing my column, I was reflecting on it, and today when I was setting this call out, and I thought, you know what, I've always been okay. Yeah. Now, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, did I think I was going to be okay? I really didn't think I was going to be okay. I felt like I was walking off the edge of a cliff. I was walking away from, it wasn't just a job, it was, you know, these people I'd worked with for years, they were like my family. You know, they were a big, huge part of my life. It'd been a huge part of my identity since about the age of 11, you know. I didn't know what I was going to do or what the future was going to hold. And you know, when I look back on all that journey in 10 years, I spent a lot of being about whether I was going to be okay and what would happen if I wasn't going to be okay. And I always was okay. Just like we're okay in this moment, in the midst of all of this, in the midst of all this, what we could describe as chaos, we're okay. Just in that moment, you can look out of the window and look at a cloud, and in that moment, feel okay. And you know what? What I've noticed, what I've learned, if one of a better word, over the years, is that I can get really caught up in what my head tells me. You can get really caught up in all that thinking. And get really caught up in what I think all that thinking means and where it's trying to point me to. And I get really tangled up in it. And the more I go down in that direction of what does my thinking mean and what is it trying to tell me and all of that, and then should I guard against it, and you know, making strategies and plans based on the scary thinking that I've been doing, the more tangled up I get, and the more fearful and frustrated and stressed and worried and anxious I get. And when I notice what thinking I've been doing, when I notice that, because it's a human thing to do. We all get tangled up, right? But when I notice it, I can kind of gently point myself in the other direction. And when I point myself in the direction of the nature of my thinking, what it actually is, that my thinking comes and it goes, comes up with some amazing things sometimes. Can take me into the future, it can take me into the past. Like a pendulum, I can swing from one to the other. It can all seem really real, like it's really happening in that moment. Because that's its job, that's what thinking does. That's the principles in action, isn't it? And when I see that, when I see the nature of it, doesn't seem really as frightening to me as it does when I'm really stuck in it and I'm experiencing it. And when I'm not frightened of what I'm thinking, I know I'm okay. Like I know deep down, like in my bones, I'm okay. Okay right now. And I can be okay right now in every single moment. Every single moment going forward, I can be okay right now. And that's all. It's all any of us really need. I hope you found this live useful. I hope you've heard something, maybe something new. I'd love for you to share that if you felt able to, either in the comments below or message me privately. That's fine too. And if you'd like to follow my page, then that's great too. Or also you can join my free Facebook group, which is the Business Revolution, and I'd love to see you over there too. Take care for now. Bye bye.